Welcome to AgroLink, the show that promotes agriculture in Africa, with a focus on the University of Cape Coast, particularly the School of Agriculture. This episode focuses on the Agriculture, Economics and Extensions Department and looks at the various initiatives it has taken to promote agriculture in Africa.
Our main focus is to do research, teach, and then also provide some community development leadership in the area of agricultural economics and the area of agricultural extension. But with time, we also find a niche. We realized that there was a need to bring about the manpower in the area of NGOs. Therefore, we also started developing programs in the area of NGO studies, management, and community development. So this is our main focus in the department. If we look at our mandates, in terms of research, we've had lecturers and assistants in the department investigating in the area of economics, in the area of agricultural extension and NGO studies and management. Also, we have focused mainly on agricultural extension by way of community development. And I want to say that our department has evolved a program, what we call Supervised Enterprise Project, where we take opportunity to bring about teaching or innovations in the academia to the doorstep of farmers and other beneficiaries in the community, whereby we admit students and then we take them through some lectures, and then we ask them to go back to the field to identify the needs. And then through that, the innovation that we have developed in the universities, we take it back and then the students implement over a period of say 6 months. And then we go back and then we look at it and see how best they've been able to provide the competencies to farmers. In terms of research initiatives, we've had a lot. We've done a lot of beneficiary impact assessment in the area of looking at how outgrower schemes in the area of maize production has impacted in the communities. We've had the opportunity to study extension systems and then how they have impacted in the communities. Colleagues also in the department have also been part of economic analysis of various projects in the area of agriculture. And I want to say that it's really impacted a lot. I spoke about the Supervised Enterprise Project. Supervised Enterprise Project is an action research where we look at the problems and then we look at appropriate solutions, and together with farmers we impact on them. And these projects, we have had experience with this project over 20 years, and these projects are scattered all over Ghana. And when I talk about this, we work with farmers and other beneficiaries. So we have the opportunity to improve on the farming practices of farmers in the area of cocoa, maize, pepper, vegetable production. We've also disseminated research results in the area of animal rearing, and then also cocoa production, a lot to farmers, and the results are there for people to see. So in terms of research outputs, I think we have really affected the people on the field a lot. This is the department that we could boast of diploma in extension, BSc in agricultural extension, BSc in agricultural extension and community development, BSc in agribusiness, and then also we also help the general school in the BSc agriculture programs. Graduates from our program by way of the BSc agricultural extension, they are the mid-career staff of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. After their training, they are supposed to go back to the ministry and work. but we have had students have had opportunity where having other opportunities elsewhere in the NGO world, in the private sector, and other places. Also, our students from the BSc and Community Development, we graduate some students, and the world of work is really on their heels, trying to see how best they can help in this area. So in terms of demand for the BSc level, it's a lot. We also train people in the MSc and then also the PhD level. At least, although most of them come already working and want to improve their lot, we've had others also, by way of attending this training, having the opportunity to work with development organizations, bilateral such as USAID and others. So in terms of the demand, they are on the high demand as far as we are concerned, because the products that we train, the feedback we are having for them, at least they are working. And I want to say that once they are working, then we are still doing our best, and our products are in high demand. The world of work, in terms of Ghana, we don't have a lot of avenues. Is that okay? So for the little work that we did for some time ago, we did some research studies. We could say that as at the time that we did it, I could say that about 80 to 90% of our students were working, either on their own or some are employed by the public or the private sector. And then we may have the few who may want to continue and maybe pursue further education. I'll give myself between 70% about the students that at least we produce, that they find themselves working. Agriculturists in Africa, we have a lot to do, because we still have the population to feed. We still have attitude to change concerning even the food we eat. We still have attitude of farmers to grow what we eat and other things. So I think for agriculturists in Ghana, we will still have to improve ourselves, look at the demands on the field, and then maybe channel our research. Is that okay? And then our development approach towards those things, so that at the end of the day, the issue of food production, the food is available. But one issue that I think we also have to focus is the processing and marketing. Is that okay? So agriculturists in Ghana, and maybe from our institution, this is the area that we have to do, so that we'll be able to at least meet the demands. Because what I see in Ghana is that our food eating patterns are changing. We are gradually moving towards the Western side. But I think that we have enough food in the system to grow. But if you be able to help to process the food that we have, our local food, in the forms that the populace will like it, I think we'll be in good business. And I think this is where agriculturists we should focus. And the department, for me, we've taken that challenge. At least now we've started looking at food production from the value chain perspective. That at each stage of the value of the production, you have to add value. You have to look at what the consumers are looking out for, and then you have to produce to meet their needs. And I think that is the only way that we can help. And then also, we are also trying in our little way to look at technologies around and see how we can use the technologies to the benefits. Now we're talking about drones, the use of drones in food production. Yes, and the department, we have taken over this thing seriously. And currently we are into experimenting with drones to see how we can use drones to improve food production. You know, the youth now are not happy going into agriculture, but I believe that if we're able to use the appropriate tools such as the drones, they will get encouraged and go into this. And I think the department has taken it upon itself, and we are going into that, and I think the future is very bright in this area. If you visit areas where we have these irrigation farmers, the farmers produce a lot. But if you will spend money in producing, in paying for water to produce food, and you'll not be able to sell it, and you'll not be sell it at competitive prices, is that okay? Then the farmer will not go back into production. Is that okay? So I believe that if we're able to improve our marketing steps and get the food that the farmers produce, the farmers will adopt the irrigation technologies and then produce to meet our requirements. We have the resources in Africa. We have the technology in Africa. We have the human resource to produce our food. But the point is, if we produce and we eat what we produce, then we will be food self-sufficient. But here is the case that even our children that are coming up, they are growing the taste for foreign food that we don't produce here. Is that okay? So until we're able to do, and this is what I think agriculturists will have a role to play. Agriculturists and food scientists, they have a role to play. Can we start looking at the food that we eat? Can we make them available in such a way that the cakes and other things will be preparing to eat? If you're able to do that, I think we'll be able to get it. But until we do that, I'm afraid we'll still continue to import food. And it's a serious thing. We are developing taste for foreign food, and it's not good. So we need to change that. For example, you take maize. Maize could be processed into so many things. Is that okay? That the children will like it. And I think when we are able to do that, we'll be able to be sufficient in our food production. I think it is not lost. Still, we are there. We have the human resource, we have the knowledge, we have the people that can produce food. We are doing our best by way of what? Training. But we will need support of everybody to be able to train our people to meet the demands of the society. And I think we are not doing badly in this department. But the other systems must also do their part, so that at least we'll be able to be food sufficient in Ghana. Thank you very much.